These are the main sections of every track. When looking all the way to the left, the first thing that you'll see is the name. Under that, you'll see Record Enable, which is the dot. Input Monitoring, which is an I, Solo, which is the S, and then M for mute. Underneath those functions, you should see something that says Waveforms. When you click what says Waveform, you can change what view you see in the Edit playlist. The first option is blocks. Using blocks is less of a CPU load on your computer. By not rendering any of the waveforms, you're using less processing power. Under that, you have Playlist. Using the playlist function allows you to comp tracks back and forth by simply breaking out all of the playlists available. Initially, analysis and warp will always be grayed out. Under that, you will have 3 different automation modes that you can look at: volume, mute, and pan. Underneath your track views are freeze, voice selector, and automation modes. Freeze allows you to render all real-time plugins and automation modes to a track, which temporarily frees up some CPU. Something unique to Pro Tools itself is the voice selector. The voice selector allows you to enable voices or disable voices, depending on what your sample rate is. Unless you're running Pro Tools HD, the maximum amount of voices that you can allocate to the project are 96, and that's at a 48K sample rate. Next to the voice selector are automation modes. Pro Tools has 5 automation modes: off, read, touch, latch, and write. Generally speaking, you should probably just keep this in read until you actually start writing automation. It might be hard to see, but the final row will always include a little clock or a metronome. This is for your timing. Generally speaking, you're going to leave it the way it is, but if you need to change your time base, this is where you would do it. Specific only to the audio track is Elastic Audio. Elastic Audio allows you to time stretch things with input-specific algorithms. There are 5 major modes: polyphonic, rhythmic, monophonic, various speed, and X-form. Out of these settings, X-form is the only one that's kind of destructive, meaning once you use X-form, it's going to render a brand new wave. The next thing you'll see on most track types will be your inserts A through E. Inserts are used for dynamic plugins, such as EQs, limiters, gates, and compressors. Unlike track order, inserts are completely affected by signal flow. You have to remember, every insert you add will affect the one right before it. After inserts are sends. Sends are generally used for buses and time-based effects. Time-based effects include an array of things, but mainly reverbs and delays. Unlike inserts, it doesn't matter how you order your sends. Sends are mutually exclusive to themselves. The next thing you'll see on all tracks is the I/O column. The I/O column is for input-output. This includes everything from interface inputs to specific MIDI channels. For most track types, the first row is going to be your input. Generally speaking, an audio interface input or a bus input. After that, you'll have your output in the next row. The output can also go to a bus, a master track, or a different set of speakers. Below that are 2 very familiar things: volume and pan. These are just as straightforward as they seem. Other things to note when looking at tracks are, by clicking the triangle in the top left-hand corner of a track, you can change the track height. If you click the triangle in the bottom left-hand corner, you can look at expanded automation views and also add more automation tracks. You can also change the size of the track by clicking the little gray area right next to the track itself. And for now, that's everything you need to know about tracks.